So how much faith do you have in what you hear on the news or read online is the truth? Our exclusive King 5 Washington poll found most news consumers have some trust issues with the media.
King 5's Drew Mickelson has the numbers and what may be to blame.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
For decades, we really only got our news two ways: TV or the paper.
It's a sad day for the PI. It's been around for a long time.
But the times have changed. Newspapers like the Seattle Post-Intelligencer stopped their presses permanently, thanks in part to technology.
Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Steve Solis.
I'm Joyce Taylor.
Enabling us to get our news whenever and wherever we want.
I remember a time where, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'd sit down with my mom and dad and watch the news.
And Tacoma's Amir Borman trusted those broadcasts. He was one of 825 adults we asked across the state how much they trust news sources. Not much, as it turns out. The big cable outlets range from about 3.5 to almost 5 out of 10. PBS and NPR scored a little higher. Newspapers topped 5 out of 10, with local papers scoring higher. And when it comes to trust, local TV news did the best, but still only with a 5.6 out of 10 rating. Republicans were more likely to trust Fox, with Democrats giving CNN and MSNBC higher scores.
It's extremely sad. It's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't trust him. He doesn't trust me.
Borman says he refuses to watch some national networks. He says he just doesn't believe their news.
Earlier this evening, we heard a number of bombs go sliding and slithering across.
It's all enough to make Edward R. Murrow spin in his grave.
I love the work that we're doing with the CIP. I think it's critical to the health of our democracy.
Bruce Pinkleton, Dean of the Edward R. Murrow School of Communication at Washington State, is part of a collaboration with the University of Washington Center for an Informed Public.
Sort of got an Apple Cup here.
The universities are working together to combat misinformation and to rebuild trust in the media.
A healthy democracy depends on higher levels of trust than we're seeing. And that's why this is an issue we have to focus on.
There's a tendency for people to become cynical and kind of opt out of the political process a little bit. And what we're really encouraging is for people to be skeptical instead and to lean in, to learn more, basically.
Come here to the Capitol to testify against this bill.
But not everything has changed over the years. Despite social media's hopes and attempts, our poll respondents say they still choose to get their news from traditional media. When asked how often they relied on social media for news, Facebook and YouTube scored highest, but overall, that's not where our respondents said they go looking for current events. Along with the two universities, King 5 and the Seattle Times also sponsored the poll conducted by Survey USA earlier this month.
There's a strong imperative for local journalists to continue to do their job and to do it well, and we all benefit when that's the case.
So we can maybe end on a high note. There is hope when you look at that social media and
yeah, I think so.
Yep, I agree. I think that was one of the bright spots of the survey.
Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.